Back from a weekend of meetings at the Camp David retreat, Donald Trump, with a new book, deeming him to be an ill-informed, self-obsessed, semi-literate, petulant president, took no question. The book, a bestseller before it was even released, comes with a blistering bottom line on the Trump presidency.
This is worse than everybody thought.
It's so bad, says author Michael Wolff, Trump's nearing the threshold for triggering the U.S. Constitution's 25th Amendment, a mechanism to, in effect, fire the president for, among other things, mental incapacity.
The 25th Amendment is a concept that is alive every day in the White House.
It's damning stuff. Today, a day after calling himself a very stable genius, Trump took aim at Wolff, who'd spent parts of several months in the West Wing last year doing research. Tweeted Trump, "It's a fake book, written by a totally discredited author." Trump backers likewise took on Wolff. Former campaign manager Corey Lewandowski.
Let me be very clear. This is a book of fiction.
Current senior advisor Stephen Miller.
The author is a garbage author of a garbage book.
CIA Chief Mike Pompeo today said he's proud of how Trump handles his duties as president.
We deal in serious matters, and that this book is in no way that.
Meanwhile, another twist. Trump's former chief strategist Steve Bannon, who Trump now labels Sloppy Steve for dishing on Trump's inner circle, today said some of what's attributed to him in the book was misinterpreted, including the suggestion Donald Trump Jr. was treasonous. Says Bannon now he's a good patriot. Paul Manafort, he says, Trump's former campaign manager, is the treasonous one. For his part, Wolff stands by his words and says this to any who challenge them.
The book speaks for itself. Read the book. See if you don't feel like you are with me on that couch in the White House, and see if you don't feel alarmed.
Paul joins us now from Washington. Paul, you're reading it, I'm reading it, so is most of the world. Hard to understand. Is this really accurate? How accurate is the picture painted here by Wolff?
Yeah, well, that's the big question, isn't it? Certainly, Michael Wolff stands by it 100%. Then again, he wrote it. The White House is pushing back hard, but then again, they don't like it. So what's in the middle? For sure, Wolff gets some details wrong, a name here and there, and Steve Bannon today saying he was misunderstood on who's treasonous and who isn't. But setting aside that it's never good to have even a single fact wrong, another way of looking at this book is to take a step back, the helicopter view, and say gosh, it sure has the ring of truth. It's as if people in the West Wing just kind of forgot he was there. And that's when people say things they might regret later, things they might not want to end up in a book about their boss, the president. But that's what happens. I met Michael Wolff in 2003 in the Persian Gulf. We were both reporting at the time on the U.S. Central Command briefings at the start of the Iraq War. I was doing live hits for CBC News World. He was writing columns for The Guardian and New York Magazine. Those briefings, to be honest, were kind of a mad circus and a place where getting at the truth was complicated. And that's what he wrote about. His columns about that time were like this book, rich in detail, full of anecdotes, whispered quotes, casual observations about what was actually going on around us. I just reread them in light of this new book and felt now as I did the first time I read them 15 years ago. On an experience I went through, to which I can attest, he nailed it. Bang on. I wouldn't change a word.
All right, Paul Hunter in Washington tonight. Thanks, Paul.